Hello and welcome to our podcast, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I'm Lauren. And I'm Michelle. And we're so excited you stopped by for a visit. Come on in. Yeah, make yourself at home. We're two Midwestern sisters who love a good old-fashioned conversation and enjoy sharing our life experiences with one another and you. Consider this your one-stop shop for cozy, mindful well-being, along with some entertainment and lots of wheezy laughing. Oh, you bet there'll be a lot of that going around. Our goal is to live our coziest life and inspire you to do the same because the truth is, we think it's good for your mind and your body. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's get cozy. Well, hello there, and welcome to Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project. I'm your host, Lauren B. Massarella, and my sister, Michelle M. MMM. And I just saw Michelle's middle name is Marie. And I guess back in the early, like in the 70s and 80s, it was like a thing for women to middle name their kids Marie.
Yep.
It was like a popular thing.
Mom,
but June,
Grandma, me.
Grandma's middle name was Marie. I think you made that up.
No, did I?
Tina Marie?
Tina Marie?
Sounds pretty.
Like good. I'll have to look that up.
Sounds like Lisa Marie Presley. Okay,
Marie.
In any case, you are a Marie, middle name. I'm Beth.
Yep.
And not Elizabeth.
Which I love.
I love
cool.
Beth.
Lauren Beth? That's
Lauren
good.
Beth. It's so cute.
It's really cute.
It's really cute. I love it.
Elizabeth was my confirmation name.
Mine was Hope.
Oh.
Lauren Beth Hope Massarella.
Michelle Marie Elizabeth. Marie Elizabeth.
Who was your sponsor? Loesch or Uncle Ben?
Loesch.
Michelle was my sponsor. No recollection.
Didn't know you invited me.
Shocked. I saw a photo. You guys, literally, I was looking through my photo pile of shit, like you have your pack away photos. And I hold it up and there's Michelle raising her hand praying over me. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. My partner in life was my confirmation sponsor. We manifested that.
We did.
Amazing. No, well,
who knew?
Who knew? Speaking of...
We didn't until we saw that picture and we were like, had to flip it over and be like, oh my God.
Literally had no recollection.
Yeah, that's how much it meant to you.
I mean, clearly. Michelle, we have a review from a Melanie Schuler. Hey, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
How are you, girl? Michelle, I think we got this at a time when we were planning for Zanies, and this popped up. I don't think we've ever read this.
Oh my God.
It's titled Goodbye Anxiety.
Sure is.
Take it away.
All right. Thank you for episode 335. I started my new small business because my therapist recommended I start thinking of creative ways to turn my love for entertaining into a daily outlet to stop ruminating over work drama.
Oh my God.
It really does.
So amazing. Thank you, Melanie, for that delightful review. Love you. Lip kisses all around. That particular episode, 335, we chatted about the science-backed idea that engaging your brain and hands into something creative can help alleviate ruminating.
Get you out of your mind.
Yeah, anxiety. It gets you out of your head and gets you into creating. So if you need a little amp or a little inspiration, go check out episode 335. This episode is all about how I'm burnt out. Not all of it, but a portion of it is my burnout on social media. I'm fucking over it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the scroll. I'm tired of living my life looking at a phone and
people living their lives.
Just done.
So
I'm done.
stupid.
I'm over hearing about what everyone's doing. I just want to pay attention to what I'm doing. Is that selfish?
No. The fact that we question that notion, we need to talk about that. It's not.
Listener, I'm dying to know. Why contact us on Instagram or email? I would love to know.
Here, you can leave a comment right here
on this episode,
yes.
Especially on Spotify.
Yes.
What are you thinking about when it comes to social media? Like, where is your head at? Are you like so into it? Are you like, oh my God, I love it. It gives me good vibes. Are you burnt out like me? Are you feeling over inundated with information, with news,
by the comparison game,
horrible things that are happening all over the world, comparison game? Like, I need to know what our followers and listeners feel like in regards to social media. In fact, I will also do a poll on Instagram. So stay tuned. You guys, it's Thursday. It is May 29th. That means that if you are listening this, Michelle and I, during the hours of 7 and 1, Michelle and I are at the LaGrange Farmers Market. We are doing a little experiential pop-up shop, if you will. Come on by. We want to give you guys permission to slow down, care less, do nothing. You're going to find and think of exactly one thing that you are going to do in regards to all of that.
No,
so think
one
about
thing that you're not
going to do it in regards to all of that. Yes, exactly. You know what I'm getting at. So we'll have permission slips. We'll have amazing vinyl stickers, slow down, care less, do nothing, totes for sale, candles for sale, and just
good vibes.
And that's the thing. Come and hang out and connect with us.
Come talk to us. Come say hi.
Yes.
Let's have a moment.
Let's have a moment. But for now, we're in your ears. I hope you have a wonderful day. Put down the phone, stop the scroll, and go out and enjoy spring. Stay cozy. Enjoy the episode. Leave us a review. Nipple tweaks all around.
Okay. Had an early morning pickle game.
Good for you. I had an early morning garden sesh.
Oh, it's the best.
Well, I have to tell you, I had after our conversation with Jen Neubauer from Hook and Garden last week.
You decided to just throw some shit in there and see what grows?
I did, but I also, something I've never done before was I planned it a little bit. Like I read a little bit about certain things. I actually really looked at the back of the little cards and was like, oh, you shouldn't be in this spot because you're going to get your ass roasted. Let's move you over to this little spot. So I actually put a little bit more thought than I usually do into it, which was fun because I'm going to tell you what, I have needed to like touch grass, soil. I feel so detached from like, I could probably start crying.
Let's hear it.
From like the planet, from Mother Nature. I think just because of life in general, like, you know, being a mom has, you know, that's a lot of responsibility. But what's so fun is I'm like, how am I going to integrate Luna into all this? Garden gloves, man. She got her garden gloves. We were gardening at like 9 a.m. yesterday.
Literally the most fun thing.
Throwing dirt, whatever, hilarious. So like I'm finding ways to get us more outside, and especially with this season now that it's somewhat turning warmer. But I am so burnt out on social media. Okay. Like the entire aspect. There's one part of social media, maybe two, that I can say like I genuinely like am into and I enjoy. And that's making content for making content and sharing things that are about our brand or even my stuff on my personal page. And sometimes it's politically active or thoughtful in, you know, like my personal Instagram stories. I sometimes set like an aesthetic and I have some fun with it.
Yeah.
It's just a creative outlet for me on a digital platform.
And also about something that you're passionate about, like you said. So it makes
100%.
It fills that.
It fills that bucket.
Yeah.
Totally. I appreciate you mentioning that because that's totally true. Yes. It's either that or I get a box and a megaphone and stand outside on the corner.
Totally,
so
100%. By the way, Mia wants to know if you want to go to this protest.
Yes.
We'll be going to.
Just yes. Whatever it is for, I'm assuming she knows my vibe. Yes.
Yep.
I will get more details on that. And then I love, of course, the connection I've made with other people, like learning about people like I did and knowing people like Jen Neubauer. Other than that, I'm fucking done. I open my phone and sometimes when I like get to like my fifth scroll, I'm like, this is such a waste of fucking time. I close my phone and I throw it.
Mm-hmm.
I am so.
Yep. I've actually know exactly what you're feeling. You're so disgusted by the nothingness.
My time.
Nothingness.
Who is this person I'm looking at?
Don't know.
At one point, I saw a man scroll up on my phone, and I'm like, who? And I literally go, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this fucking guy?
Mm-hmm.
And I close that. I'm like, I'm so over this pattern I've gotten myself into. I find that I've slipped almost into like an addiction.
Yep.
Right.
Same.
And I'm so fucking over the divisiveness. I mean, from regular everyday people to the president of the United States spewing hate for people, calling us scum. I was just like, you know what? I gotta.
Was that the Memorial Day?
Yeah, that was the Memorial Day post.
And no thanks to the people that served our country.
No, and who died. Not even served our country. died
Have
for
a
our
good
country.
one.
Right. And there's just this, and I'm over inundated what I should be doing, and I know it. I need to be eating enough protein and I need to stay strong and I need to do, but it's just like, I can't keep fucking track of it anymore. Now I got to get creatine. It's just too
Listen,
fucking
between
much.
you and me, I'm here to tell you, just eat your meat. Or eat your
I don't eat
fiber,
meat.
eat your protein, eat your fiber, and call it a day. I'm not doing the powders and the potions.
I will maybe do the creatine. I'm not going to lie, but that's the thing. I'm getting sucked into all this stuff. And yeah, it might be good. But again, this is why I'm going to a proper doctor next month for all things perimenopause. So I can talk to someone as well. And I know there's so much information out there that we reap really good benefits from, but it's I'm inundated. I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out. I can't fucking keep up.
Same.
I'm done.
I honestly
I'm done.
couldn't disagree with one of the things that you're saying. I feel the exact same way. For me, it's like I'm looking at all this shit and all I keep telling myself is keep it simple, stupid, because there's no possible way you can.
The act, kiss.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. I'm like, oh my God, this one's over here doing this.
Oh
They've all won everything,
Right,
I can't.
right. And then
can't.
on top of all of this, which is maybe the most alarming of it all, are now, and I don't know, I feel like, am I the only one seeing this?
What?
The amount of AI generated content that people are believing. And now we have gone from like a silly photo to people. Like I recently saw one of Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, and Prince William, like walking. And people are like, oh my God, have they reconciled? I'm like, you guys fucking get a brain cell. This isn't real life. This is some AI computer made this. Like, this is scary territory. This is the end of times. So welcome to Cozy Conversations
with the Sister Project.
I'm sorry, I had to vent.
Our thumbs in the corners. I'm telling you, Lauren, I have been feeling that way, and it's why I go dark a lot, because I go all in and then I go all out. It's like I struggle with the happy
balance.
Medium, which I don't think there fucking is one, because you have to be like a professional at countering an addiction that's being designed to keep you in. So if you want your platform to succeed, you have to spend your entire life on it. And I'm here to tell you, Lauren, we win every day, and I don't give a shit about our Instagram. And if we get one more follower, thank you for joining, but also one more follow. Be here to know that you can come find us on this place where we bring joy. Or the farmer's market on Thursday. And that's what I was going to say, Lauren, which is going to the connection that one feels when they go and walk around and talk to the people that they consume the food from and learn about how they made the soaps. That to me is the connection that people don't even know that they're missing while they're scrolling. I know. And that's where I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out on life sometimes when I'm sitting on my motherfucking phone. Well, and like, that's why my garden is my attempt and cure to spend less time on my phone. I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was my morning looks like a little bit like this. I wake up first, I light my incense downstairs to like just freshen up, open a window, coffee in hand, and then outside. Well, so I'm getting that sunlight and I'm getting my gardens. And it's hashtag simple pleasure. We talk about it all the time. All the time. Something that I've made a concerted effort to do, because I have been craving more connection. And I oftentimes am like I'm often the recipient of, hey, you want to come over, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a leader in that this year. And I'm going to have more people to my backyard, to my kitchen, and they can have whatever I scrounge up in the kitchen, and let's hang out. And yesterday I hosted my neighbors, the Prados. I feel like that was maybe the fourth or fifth small gathering I've had with people in my house for that number one reason, because I am craving real connection, interaction.
Oh my God. Well,
And in my mind, I always thought it had to be a certain way, and all
what you're gathering,
just these rules. I need to do this. I need to have this many. And then I was like, no, keep it simple, stupid. Invite your friends down the street. They look like they're I don't think
keep
they're
it
too
simple,
busy.
stupid.
Keep
I'm
it
obsessed with
simple,
you.
stupid. And they came down and we had a delightful afternoon. We had a great meal together. We had some of the teens were in and out, whatever. And then boom, everyone's on their backs on the couch at 7:00 for a show that we're going to talk about later. And
it was like you and I, when Luna and I came and had dinner at your house with just you and Mia, because I think both of our husbands were out of town.
Yeah.
And we had this great dinner outside, walked for ice cream, went to the park. And it was like, that is to me what like being alive is about. And more of that. And yeah, I'm literally emotional over the state of of social media and these phones. It's
hard.
It's really, really hard. And I will say, I was listening to Jenna Hagar Bush on the Today Show talk about devices. And she's like, my daughter's 12. She does not have a phone.
Good for her.
Yep. She said, when I gave birth to my daughter 12 years ago, she was like in her postpartum watching the news. A segment came on about a doctor who, again, 12 years ago. So this is like at the beginning of a lot of this shit, who, was studying how children react or feel when they see their parents pick up their phones all the time and stare at their phones and scroll. And then he went on to talk about the detrimental effects that social media and screens. I mean, a lot of just straight up like social media now have on children, or what the social media, it wasn't as big back then because it was still like just the beginning. His outlook on how devastating social media will be to the youths of our society. And he was right. I mean, right. I just recently read a quick news story about how Facebook has figured out when a young lady, certain demographics, so we're talking like young girls, takes a selfie and then deletes the selfie from her Facebook page or Meta, or it's probably Instagram, so just Meta in general. When they delete their photo, that boosts the algorithm to start pushing beauty products to them, to these young girls.
Oh my God.
Because their
they feel ugly. They didn't like the picture. That's
yep.
Awesome.
So then they start pushing beauty products and how to be prettier. And it's just like, this isn't normal. This is so unnatural for us human beings to be navigated by a fucking phone. And everything is navigated by the phone. Everything. Like literally I might feel like my life right now is just navigated by my phone.
I'm hoping that our kids' generation gets to a point where they see the detrimental effects, and
I hope so.
Because think about it, we were the last generation to grow up without a phone. Okay. And
we were so lucky.
The first generation to parent with a phone, right? Does that make sense?
It sounds like about right-ish.
Our kids all have phones. And I'm hoping in the next, as they grow and they have kids, if the world is still spinning, that they will recognize the things that they didn't get because of the access to social media and content, being constantly connected. So I don't know. It's terrifying, and it's I've said this before. Parenting, the hardest part
with
about
the
parenting today is navigating the device situation.
Wow. Yeah, I'm hoping with you that is the course that it takes, and maybe our little space here on the internet and podcast corner will inspire people to put down their phones, back off a little bit from it. I mean,
and lean in.
So strong, man. It is. You literally it's like a drug.
You really have to
like practice. You have to move I've been actually reading a lot about how to step away from your phone more. Like you literally have to have it in another room, like put your phone away. So it's not even accessible, because the desire is so quick and easy to pick up your phone. Mm-hmm. We pick up our phone almost 2,800 times a day, whether it's to check for the time or whatever it might be. It's a really good stat to know. And I'm just looking to lower my numbers there.
I know. I mean, and that's why, you know what, like this whole leaning into simple pleasures and creating joy out of things, the simple mundane things before we had phones. I mean, heck, we used to be able to go to the bathroom and have a bowel movement
Can we talk about it?
without a device. I mean,
they're saying the experts out there are saying leave your phone away from you when you go to the bathroom. It's terrible for your posture. Okay, so this is something I recently read. It's terrible for your posture because you're tech necking, rounding your spine. Because who's taking a crap?
Hang on a
Who's
second.
taking a crap?
Yeah.
Sitting up really tall, holding their phone up at eye height.
No.
Just crapping and looking. Okay, no one. Okay, and if you are, good on you. It causes you to stay longer on the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It causes you either to rush or to just sit there. Okay. So now you're just bringing in a whole host of issues while crapping that you don't need to bring in with you. And like gone are the days that, you know, you had a magazine or something, you read a page but you're not doom scrolling. So maybe this is our invitation to ourselves and to others to get those magazines or a little easy flip through book and leave your phone. Maybe this will be one of the easiest ways for all of us to step back a little bit. And let's talk about how gross it is.
I mean,
there's so much to it.
Yeah.
You know, and the Sister Project is inviting you to leave your phone in another room when you go take a crap.
Good luck. Godspeed.
I think that's our audiogram. Now, speaking of like real life experiences that have Michelle and I still like freaking out and orgasming over them.
My God.
I went and saw Beyoncé and Michelle went and saw Post Malone. Not going to lie, they were really kind of piggybacking each other's the dates. And I was really hoping that Post was going to come on stage with Beyoncé to sing Levi Jeans.
Oh my God.
Levi Jeans. But he didn't. But you got to see him. I saw Beyoncé and I mean, I think we should share a little bit. I've had people ask me about it.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So, wow. Let's start with, I was really lucky. A friend invited me as her guest to go, my friend Megan. And I was
similar circumstance for me.
You were okay. So when she invited me the morning of or the morning before, I sent her back the GIF of Beyonce winning the Grammy when I sent it to you when Beyonce shocked and they're like, and best country album, Beyonce. And she's like, huh? Like that was me when Megan was like, okay, listen, the universe is telling me, come with us too. And I'm like, oh my God.
Go with it.
So I did. And, you know, I have a little bit of country in me. So I didn't have to go. I bought like a cute little easy jacket, but like I got a hat. Like I felt like, you know what? I'm going to just go. I think I wore my Chucks, some Converse, but it was such a fan. But that's part of it. Like, you know, going to her shows, I didn't realize I go into any concert. You kind of get into a theme, a vibe if you want to, or go as is. It doesn't matter. But I was so excited. So I went with Megan Devin, who is Beyonce's like number one diehard fan, and her husband, Mike. We went to a great dinner at Moody Tongue Brewery. Oh my God. If people have not been there yet, it's like near Chinatown, like near the South Loopish, like farther south. It's a must, especially for foodies and people that like good beers. Michelle, you and Ryan would flip.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And then we made our way to Soldier Field and I kept getting news alerts sent to me from our dad saying from the city of Chicago that the Beyonce concert was going to be postponed. I'm sitting next to across from the number one fan and I'm seeing this and I'm like, I mean, is it possible they would cancel the show? Like would Beyonce, but Devin would say, mother knows what's best. Devin calls Beyonce mother. Mother wouldn't leave us hanging.
And she didn't.
So she didn't. We went to Soldier Field. We waited for 2+ hours. She was supposed to go on at 8. She didn't go on until 10:30.
Did it completely stop raining by the time she came on stage?
And once we saw people,
Did Mother make that happen?
Mother maybe spoke to the weather god and was like, listen, Chicago's waiting for me.
One mother
Ty,
to
like,
another.
close it up. Let's get the show on the road. Do your thing. I mean, and it stormed. I mean, it was like sideways rain. And everyone was jam-packed into the underhanging of, the inside of Soldier Field. So it's fun to see a lot of assless chaps, like butts hanging out.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. And men wearing assless chaps. More men than women were. Some nipple tassels and pasties. I mean, it's quite a fashion extraordinary experience. And then the show started and it blew my mind. I'm not going to lie. I don't know all of Beyonce's songs. I do love Cowboy Carter, the album. I love her old stuff. She did a little homage to, like kind of they do like a little, a real, like a little.
There's a word
song
for it
that has like 10 songs in it. Yeah, like a sample.
What the hell is it called?
Is it sampling?
No, it's called
like a variety song. I don't know.
It'll
Anyways, we'll
us.
figure it out. And she's just, I felt like I was like watching like I likened her to like watching like Elvis in his like when he was most famous.
Which
like
I loved that comparison.
And the reason why, they're obviously two very different types of human beings, but because of her jumpsuits, like that's really what brought the Elvis. And it's very Dolly Partonish as well. But like there was just something about, I just remember reading about Elvis being like, I feel like I grew up being like, he was the most famous entertainer like at one point in the world. And I felt like that's what I was watching as, like one of the most famous entertainers in the world. And she fucking destroyed it. It's an experience more than music. It's, you're watching, it's theatrical. The dancers are incredible. Her costuming. In fact, a seamstress and a costume designer were in my yoga classes while they were in town for Beyonce's concert. And I learned a whole bunch of things about the situation. I mean, they have different workrooms. They call it workrooms behind the stage. One person's, beading. There's another workroom for,
really? Like beading during the show? Why?
Because if a bead to repair costumes, to make new costumes on the go. I mean, also speaking of social media, and they vented their frustration that because of social media, and you can see shows beforehand. The show people are listening. So Beyonce and her team are listening and reading what they're saying on social media, and they're figuring, okay, should we change this up? Did they not like that much?
What?
So they're changing things up on the go and creating new costumes on the go. And she's like, as a creator, like a seamstress, it is so hard and frustrating because we have this beautiful show designed, and then there's, oh, we want to change it up because it got too much, whatever on social media. So it's just a lot of work. So social media now is playing a role in controlling how these huge
the direction
tours.
Of these are,
yes.
Wow.
But I asked her, Rumi and her daughter, I think she's 7 or 8, Rumi and Blue Ivy. Is it Blue Ivy? Or did I make that up? She is just a wonder. I mean, I watched her videos, a couple years ago when she performed in the Renaissance tour, and now watching her now, she's like a pro, and she's so just adorable. And Rumi is just a little classic cutie.
Well, Rumi to me and Blue Ivy look like they have two totally different personalities. Like I know Rumi is significantly younger than Blue Ivy,
but she's just there to have fun.
But she's like, what up?
She takes her earpiece out and she hears the crowd. I mean, mind blown. And then I asked the seamstress and the costume designer, I'm like, I gotta know, like, what is Beyonce doing like backstage when her kids are what these kids are gonna still like, she's still a mom. Like, she's like, oh, like I asked like in regards to being a mother, I'm like, what is she like? They're like, oh, Rumi will be like, Mom, come here. I learned this TikTok dance. Come watch. So Beyonce like stops or sits on the floor and plays toys with them. I'm like, oh, she's a real person.
Totally.
Yeah. Jay-Z was backstage. So yeah, I mean, it was just phenomenal. And, more than anything, and I shared this with my girlfriends and with Mike, that doing this with my friends, that was what made it so special. Obviously, if I gone with anyone, I would probably go with someone who I love and adore. But it was something about this little crew going with Beyonce's #1 fan. Megan is one of my oldest friends, and then of course we've got Mike, Devin's husband. So it was a random crew, but I was just filled with so much gratitude the next day to be included, to be invited, and to witness something so extraordinary.
You're like you're on a natural high from the experience.
The whole experience was beautiful, and it just felt really good. At one point, my friend Devin busted my balls a little bit. She's like, I thought you'd be taking more photos and videos. And I was like, honestly, I'm just so taken aback by what I'm seeing in real time. I just want to take it all in. I don't
wanted to have a firsthand experience.
Yeah. And I was just, Michelle, people were streaming live in front of me, streaming the concert live on Facebook. I mean, I get it. Sure. Not everyone could go to it, but for that human being, I'm like, don't you just want to be here?
Yeah. My arm would get so tired.
I would think.
Did they have like a tripod or
something? No, arm straight up.
Good God.
But, so yeah, it was extraordinary. And I'm thinking, I just want to tell the world, like, if you get a chance, just go to Beyonce.
Just
but
go
you
to
went
anything. Just
anything.
go to
But
anything.
you went to Post Malone. What was that like?
So a little backstory about Post Malone. Like, not really. I'm not a fan of Post Malone, but I wasn't like downing his
Same
music.
with me with Beyonce.
And or late at the end of last year, my friend Killeen asked all of our mushroom heads if we would do something for her, and we were like, oh, "What?" And she was like,
cool.
Can we all take our families to see Post Malone? She's like, I love him. I worship him.
Killeen loves Post Malone.
Worships him. She was inviting him to dinner at the concert, screaming it while moaning, I love
her.
you.
I had no idea she was such a huge fan.
And we were like, you know
great.
what? Absolutely. Yes, we can. So all of my mushroom heads, with the exception of one who ended up not being able to come because of an 8th grade graduation, we all got the tickets, and Killeen planned a gathering. We pre-gathered at her house. And the best part about this is we had this experience with our kids. And, like it's one thing for my family, like my friends that are like my family that I've known my whole life.
Yeah, to go and do something with them.
Created like this culture where we call them the junior mushroom heads. They love each other. They're like cousins. They're like cousins. So Killeen did it up. We got on a bus.
You guys got like a Sprinter bus.
We smashed 17 people into this party bus, and we went and had. Honestly, we're all still high on life from it. Post Malone calls it his big ass stadium tour. But very like,
that's what he calls this tour, the big ass stadium tour.
And it's so cool because what I loved about it was like downplayed, like chill vibe. Like Post Malone's wearing jeans, a big belt buckle, and a flannel shirt. This is my kind of guy. But like the music, the fireworks. Like, I talked to somebody who said that they lived right by Wrigley. They said that they have never, ever, ever seen a show have fireworks like that. Like,
really?
We got a show. Best time ever. Kids, us dancing, laughing. And then as we left, we leave and we're going to race to our Sprinter van, and we cannot see Post does his encore and he leaves the stage. Okay.
Oh, I heard.
And then we look up at the screen and he's in the bleachers, but we can't find him. We're still in Wrigley. We cannot see him. The kids are like, okay, we're good. We've heard every song that we want to sing. We leave the venue. All of a sudden, we look up. Oh, I just got the goosebumps. Oh. We look up to the stands on the rooftop. He is standing.
How did he get there?
Ran out of that place. He is singing down to the crowd down below. The kids like saw the back of him as he ran back into Wrigley. But I just like the joy that we all felt, everybody just letting loose, singing, swaying together. Now we're like, what's next? Where are we going?
Yeah, what's the next?
We're like, we are down for this. We're going to become a touring bunch of mushroom music.
And just get that Sprinter van.
Best night ever.
Fun. Michelle, Post Malone, hot or not?
Hot as hell.
Ooh,
hot as hell.
Spicy. I love it. There's a great video going around of him like carrying a case of beer with his like hiked up jeans, and they're like, Uncle Bob has just arrived.
Literally blazing cigs, drinking Bud Light out of a Solo cup, living his best life. And you want to know what I love about him? Talk about grateful. That dude is grateful. Mm-hmm. He's just grateful to be there and to be able to do this. And like, it felt like he can't believe that all of these people come to see him.
So cool. I love it. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to like more live music this summer. In fact, I shared an article with you. It was about, it was an article titled, stay with me, 8 things you shouldn't feel guilty about splurging, it says a happiness expert. And live experiences, live music is particularly, actually it's number 1. There's something magical about belting out lyrics with thousands of strangers. Oh, it's not just fun, it's science. I love science. I'm so pro science. Yep. It's crazy. When we sing together, our brains release oxytocin, a bonding hormone, and endorphins that create what sociologist Emily Durkheim called collective. Oh, we've talked about this collective effervescence, that buzzy feeling of connection that washes over a crowd. Studies show group singing reduces cortisol levels and creates a sense of belonging that can last for days after the final encore. And that's like what we're talking about.
Literally still high on
live music.
And then I go watch the reel that I made of our kids and families together, and it revamps that feeling all over again.
A couple other things that were on this list just for people that want to spend some money on and not feel too guilty about it. Novel experiences, exciting vacations, even small though, novel experiences like, are you fucking ready?
What?
Checking out a new farmer's market.
Oh my God. Hello. Which, by the way, we'll be there this Thursday today
at LaGrange.
On this podcast at LaGrange Farmers
Come
Market.
visit us.
Come see
7
us.
to 1.
Come get your permission slip to do less. We'll be handing them out like hotcakes.
Also, other novel experiences, painting nails and unexpected color. I'm here for this.
Oh, I just did that. I know you can't see it.
What unexpected
baby nail.
You're like, I just did that. Meanwhile, mine are purple chrome and yours are nude.
I just did something
unexpected color.
I just did something unexpected for me, even more subdued than before.
I love you. Time-saving purchases. So spending money on like grocery shopping services that help you not stress or stress less. And spend some money to get the ball rolling. So I agree with that. Activities that boost your relationships. After tracking people for more than 80 years, Harvard researcher discovered something surprising. Close relationships predict happiness better than genetics, fame, and wealth. Makes me really happy to hear that.
Yeah,
I know. Being generous to others, small joys, like getting that trinket, finding that little thing or cookie, whatever, and making plans in advance. Oh yeah, they always talk about
something like
I bought tickets to go. I've got a college reunion coming up, shout out to my Blue Demons, my DePaul Blue Demons. And I don't want it to go by fast this summer, but I'm so looking forward to September with this trip. It's been paid for. We're going. Again, I don't want to rush
Nothing
it,
more
but
fun
it's something to look forward to.
Totally.
So listener, if you're thinking about, spending money on a concert or, going somewhere with a friends, going on a trip, do what you can, or if you are lucky enough to get an invite, say yes. Or go and have fun.
And I'll invite you to something. My band is playing on July 25th at Montrose Harbor at the Dock in Chicago. So you can come and go have your oxytocin burst with the Pigs. My band just played this past weekend. Somebody came up to me and said, "We are the greatest cover band
she
has ever heard." And do you want to know why?
Why?
Because we have so much fun. So come have that with us. There you go.
Love it. There you go. Bless. God. I also saw this, there's this other thing to kind of lean into what we're talking about. A beautiful post. See, there is some stuff. I do see some really beautiful things. I just wish it was always beautiful and not divisive and not intense. I just wish it was all butterfly and sparkles.
Well,
oh my God.
That's not possible.
I know. So I've got to create that in my own life, which I'm doing that. But one was about nostalgia and how nostalgia, some people like go and look back at nostalgia like, oh, that was so, like there's sometimes people experience a sadness. And this one post in particular was trying to remind you that nostalgia, although you might long and miss it, consider how fortunate you are to be able to think so fondly of a beautiful moment or time period in your life. So whether that's growing up without social media and playing backyard games, like to me, I think I'm on this is about the third time Perry's really doing something to me today.
You're really the hormone.
Oh my God. But like playing games and running around and having fun, that was just such a beautiful moment in life. Even like the moment, like postpartum, nostalgia, the good part of postpartum, like being all cozy with your baby. And it just really reminded me to reminisce and think about these wonderful joys from our past, which reminiscing is so good for your brain health and cognitive health.
I love reminiscing too, like when you gather with people and you start tell the same story that you've told and heard 1,000 times, but it always hits the same every time.
Yes. And that's why reminiscing is or nostalgia and reminiscing is so powerful. See, we do our hardest to vent a little bit here, but to inspire our listeners to don't give up.
Keep on seeking out those simple joys.
Reminisce. We are moving into one of our favorite segues and topics of our podcast, what we're reading, watching, and listening to in an effort to get us off of our screens and enjoying the arts still. So, Michelle, let's kick things off. What are you reading?
Well, I've taken a deep dive and I cracked open my blueprint, my human design blueprint that Erin Claire Jones did up for us a couple of years back when we first started. I mean, for people that don't know, human design is like a compilation of like 4 or 5 different modalities, religions, mysticism, the stars.
It's a little gray.
It's actually a little really hard to understand.
It is.
But I will guess what? So Lauren, and anyway, basically what this human design does, and based on a few tidbits you provide, and then it poops out this blueprint, and it kind of explains you in your personality. And it's changed honestly, when I read this the first time, and I try to read it every year or so, I've learned to understand myself better than I ever have. Lauren and I are both generators. And do you know who else is a generator, Lauren?
You said Ryan.
Beyoncé.
Of course she is.
And Dolly Parton.
Oh my God, Dolly.
And,
oh my God.
And generators are energetic beings. Okay. Generators are the type of, we need to feel joy and, feel joy from what we're doing. Like basically generators, it's not about the money. It's about the joy. I mean, that's the best way for me to explain how we feel about. So anyway, I've just been diving into that. Now I know my kids are both projectors. Ryan's a generator. I've done half my friends.
What's Luna? You told me, but I forgot.
Luna's a manifesting generator. So cool. Luna is a manifesting generator like Killeen. And I read that manifesting generators, like a really great line of work for a manifesting generator is like a planner, like an event planner, like somebody, they're always into different projects. They're like always doing things. So We'll see how Luna turns out. Super fun.
Oh my God, I love it. I have mine. You've inspired me to take mine out. I'm going to read it. Give me another thing to do and not be on the old social. Speaking of Luna, I have to tell you, the other day she woke up and melted down. I think I've told you but she did it again. She looked at me and puts her hand up like towards me, like almost like, like when a vampire sees a cross and they're like, no, a bright light. That's what she did to me because my glasses were on. Like when people are like, she didn't like them. So she's like, glasses off.
She is hilarious.
What do you think that is? Do you think that's a part of her human design?
Yeah, maybe.
Or is that OCD?
Look it up. Or she's just very particular and speaks her mind.
I can't. Oh my God. Okay. I am reading I am so delighted that I can sit here and say I am hooked on a book and I'm obsessed with it. Hooked on a book. As you know, Michelle, I'm pretty... it's been a while, but I'm into the more macabre side of life. I once dreamed up a funeral home idea with you. And this book is called Smoke Will Get in Your Eyes. And it is about a young woman and her first entryway into the business of the dead. And she works at a funeral home and a crematory. And at this point in her life, she's young. She's like 24 years old. Her dream is to own a funeral home. Is to own a modernized funeral home.
Oh my God.
It sounds very familiar.
Wait, hang on. This is a novel.
This is a book. This is like a memoir.
Okay.
About her experience. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is not a novel. This is her experience. It's called Smoke Will Get in Your Eyes and Other Lessons of the Crematory. And it's so fascinating because there's historical tidbits there. You learn about how people back in the day used to, treat the dead and how they would prepare them for burial or cremation. She talks about how when you cremate someone, they don't just turn into dust. They break down like into bigger chunks. Then you put them in like almost a tumbler. And that's what you see when you get your ashes, like we have for mom. That's after they've been tumbleized. So they're tumbled and they're broken down almost into like sand, like that kind of the same texture as sand. But, and how you've got to remove the metal from the bodies because certain things, or if a pacemaker battery can explode in the when you're cremating someone's body.
Like when I get cremated, are they going to have to take my screws out of my knee?
I don't know if they'll have to take it out or if that will just be part of the situation. I haven't gotten to that part about screws in the knees. She talks about shape. They wanted, an older man's family wanted to view him one last time before they cremated him, and they requested that he was cleanly shaven. So she's like, he was just staring at me while I was shaving his face. But the way she's super respectful of the dead, and it's fascinating. It is fascinating. I am absolutely obsessed with it. I find that I can't read it while I'm eating because it's kind of gross, some of it, but absolutely floored by it.
Interesting.
I'm obsessed.
Interesting.
Yep, totally obsessed. Okay, so moving on from reading, watching, and I have been waiting a very long time for this. I and Anthony and you are watching Pee-wee as himself.
Yes.
And it's on Max. And I have so many thoughts, and some thoughts that were jogged last night, and I woke up with more thoughts. So where are you? So we're obviously talking about Paul Reubens. This is a 2-part series documentary, face to camera. So he is very involved with this documentary in the production of it, him and the director.
He was quietly battling cancer for 6 years and nobody knew it.
Not even when he was doing this.
And he died right after this.
They didn't even get the last sit down with him.
Yeah, like he died. They did 40 hours of interviews with him towards the end, and then he died not long after that.
And shockingly, he looked really good. I think he was 70.
He looked incredible.
Yes. So let's break this down a little bit for the listener. It starts out, obviously, Pee-wee or Paul Rubin comes on screen as himself. And we don't even get into Pee-wee right away. We learn about his roots, his family, his wonderful family.
Wonderful family.
Listen, anytime a person comes out as whatever, in his case, gay, and his family supports them, I am like, you guys get thumbs up. Because instead of making him feel like shit, you supported him.
I think his dad's exact words were, son, I hope you're the greatest homosexual that ever walked the face of the earth.
I mean, talk about support.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I think his sister is also a lesbian, or is a lesbian. So, and then his mom and dad, his dad was a pilot. He was in the Air Force.
It seemed like they came from privilege. Like
they mentioned that too. Yes.
They did. The parents, whatever they did pretty well. Also had a lot of fun. Seemed like a good time.
Yeah. They traveled. They went, they supported, they were able to help the kids like with their school and their, go ahead.
What was cool was his journey to, so just for reference, I got to the point, I started to nod off right when they started to get into the making of the movie.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where I stopped as well.
Perfect. So I got through a pretty good chunk. I think it's really cool. There were so many things that I thought were super, super cool about his story. Number one, his family's like get up and move to Florida. His parents talk about like living your dreams and doing what you want. And someday we're going to do this. And then they woke up and were like, and we're doing it.
I love that.
And then there he was sort of exposed to like different things like the circus, and which obviously played like a huge role. He didn't know it yet in his whole, like big top Pee-wee and whatever. But my favorite thing about him, and I had no idea, is Pee-wee Herman. This was the result of a never ending desire to figure out how to make it.
Yeah.
He was not going to take no for an answer. And this character was born out of a commitment to go. He was going to do it, and he wanted to do something that nobody else did. I loved his story.
Yeah. And it was very influenced by kind of like the vaudeville, like the old school puppetry, like shows that he watched as a child
and
growing up.
Talk about nostalgia.
Yeah.
I Love Lucy, all of those
I know.
things. Like
he was I think Lucy and Desi Arnaz are actually my real parents.
He worshipped them, but that we grew up on that too. I love that.
Howdy Doody, or no, what's that little puppet, that weird little, that was it Howdy Doody? I think it was.
Mm-hmm, I think it was.
But a lot of vaudeville kind of acts, and like you mentioned, the circus. But what I also really enjoyed learning about in regards to the creation of his caricature and alter ego, Pee-wee Herman, was the collaborative effort that was involved here. I keep forgetting his name. The gentleman that, oh my gosh, who was the Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman played a role. Oh my God. The freaking secretary from,
Grace.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Grace.
Yes. Elvira. It was a very collaborative effort with a lot of his fellow comedians and performers that also played a role in the show that they took live on stage called, Pee Wee Herman or Pee Wee's Playhouse or whatnot. Super. And I really enjoyed learning about his relationship with Guy. And he brought up the AIDS epidemic. His former partner passed away at one point, being very sick from it. And yeah, there was a lot to learn in the show, more than who and what Pee Wee was. Now, I have to tell you, I was having this conversation with my sister-in-law last night. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this documentary. And she's like, isn't Pee Wee a perv? And I was like, no. And I really vehemently, is that the right word? I was like, no, Pee Wee's not a perv. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't like perv, like how? She's like, with kids. And I'm like, fuck, no, he's not. But wait. So I did know, we know, I mean, I think most of us might remember he did get arrested for indecent exposure, possible masturbation at an adult theater.
He was possibly just fondling his own wiener,
yes,
and no one else. He had no one else's in his hand. He was
thankfully he did. And which, listen, that doesn't make it right. But at the same time, the story I remember growing up was that he was at an adult like pornography theater, and he was very into it.
And
he got
finished
into
the job.
Go home.
Yep.
I mean,
everyone makes mistakes.
Right. But so I did do some digging. He was arrested in the early 2000s for his home was raided, and they referred to it as child pornography. And it was what he and his lawyers and all the, his team shared, that it was more gay erotic photography. It did get dropped, and it was taken down from child pornography to obscene photos. And I think it was someone in his camp, his lawyer was like, listen, if you want to pinch him for a photo of, it was like a 1901 photo from like a vintage tin type kind of photo, black and white, of some young males like sunbathing nude. He's like, well, then you got him. That's what you got him then. I will say they did not, it wasn't like, I'm not excusing any of this, but it wasn't to a level of depravity that we've heard about other people doing. So Pee Wee is probably a little bit of a perv, it sounds like, and his story is fascinating. But with that being said, he didn't harm any, there were no children harmed. I just want to put that out there, that he's not a sex offender. But it's just something to note, because it was a legal issue for him. It's, and it's, I don't want to minimize it.
Do we think he's going to talk about that?
I think part of him wanting to do this documentary was to talk about these two instances. He was closeted. So what's very interesting about him as well is that he was out for a long while.
And then he went in.
I think even as a young man, he was out. But then he became very worried that
affect his career.
Yeah, his homosexuality would affect his career, which honestly, it probably would have, because we know so many people
that are closeted,
that were closeted, or it did affect their career, or they came out and people were stunned and shocked and mad. I mean, Ellen DeGeneres comes to mind. A lot of different people. And so I think maybe part of the at least with the movie theater situation, you know what? I'm not going to assume anything. All I know is that he's extraordinarily creative, and he found himself in some legal troubles that we will see him attend to them or address them in the second episode.
Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's Pee Wee as himself. And Michelle, I am also listening to a book that has me, I'm obsessed. And I'm not easily obsessed with books. As you know, I've quit about 5 in the past month and a half. The Wedding People. Have you read this book?
No.
Or have you
but
heard
everybody
of this book?
Is loving this book.
Yeah, you saw the reaction on Instagram. The Wedding People is about a woman named Phoebe whose husband leaves her for a younger woman at the school that they work. He gets her pregnant. And so she decides that she doesn't really have much to live for anymore. And she's kind of over it. She's just over the hustle. She's over it all. So she doesn't pack anything, and she goes to a really, really, really fancy hotel to go end her life. But she goes to this hotel and is mistaken and is at first mistaken for as one of the wedding people because the whole entire hotel has been rented out for a very affluent, wealthy, beautiful wedding. And she finds herself in the mix with all these different wedding people. And at one point, she becomes like friends with the bride. At one point at the beginning, she meets the bride. The bride comes in her room because she's pissed. She's like, why? How did you get a room here? Like, no offense, but you're not supposed to be here. This is supposed to be all for the wedding. And she's like, and she says, you know what? Well, I've come here to kill myself. And she's like, no, you cannot kill yourself on my wedding weekend. Can you at least wait? Like you can't do this now. You'll ruin my wedding. So it is a hilarious, but also insightful, human interactive book about relationships, meeting new people. It's wild. It's so, so good. I highly recommend it.
Maybe I'll give that a whirl. I've found
It's like an easy read.
Yeah, I like that. I've found myself I keep looking for something to listen and I'm not getting pulled in. So I just keep trying new things. That's
where I was. I think this one might get you.
Okay.
It's so good. All right. So that concludes our reading, our watching, and our listening to. Michelle, this past week, what has been your favorite simple pleasure?
My simple pleasure this week was jamming with my band.
Cool.
And I think but jamming with my band, it was just like a joy bomb. It was really fun. We had a blast together, and I enjoyed watching the people across from me getting taking up what we were throwing down.
I love it. Bless. My simple joy was my garden. Like I said, I needed nature, and I'm like really craving more time. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. I know every morning I get to wake up. I've been reading about
Garden
watering. I've been reading about all the things, and I just feel much more connected to this garden as I'm kicking things off with it. I'm trying new things. I put some spinach in, some lettuce. I've never done like leafy greens like that. And so, yeah, I'm really stoked to see how this goes. And it feels so good.
Yeah. Gardening, it's fun. Like what else are we going to do in the summer when the sun's hot and things grow? Might as well grow something. That we can actually
cherry
eat
tomatoes galore.
Yeah.
And I did what you did. I copied off of you and did like my little raised bed as like a caprese farm, like a caprese garden.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm. Keep it simple, stupid. And as always,
stay cozy with.
Thank you for joining us for today's cozy conversation. For more of The Sister Project, check us out on Instagram at The Sister Proj and our website, www.thesisterprojectblog.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and maybe even drop us a review. Until next time, stay cozy.